So what I want to do, I kind of want to start out on a personal note. Each day when I get up in the morning, and I'm 100% serious about this, when I get up in the morning, I present myself with two unique opportunities, two unique decisions, and there it is. And if you want to steal it from me, that's fine. You can be like Calipari. Calipari says to me, I like that, I'm going to use it, and I'm not giving you credit for it. So you can use that philosophy. So when I get up in the morning every day, I give myself two choices. And there's no other choice. I got to take one of these two. I can be happy, or I can be very happy. That's the only two choices I give myself every day when I get up. I can be happy, or I can be very happy. Every one of us should make positive thinking a habit in our lives. There's no better way to start off the day and make positive thinking a habit in your life than to give yourself those two choices. Today I'm going to be happy, or today I'm going to be very happy. And I'm pleased to say to you here today that I'm very happy to have an opportunity to spend some time with you. I'm very happy to be here in Las Vegas. Very happy to be part of USAB basketball. When you really stop and think about it, you guys have taken on a job that's every bit as important as what Obama does in the White House. They don't call you president, you don't have a staff, and you don't live in a big house. But you have an equal responsibility because someone sends their child to you and they say to you, I'm going to send you my most prized possession, the most prized possession I have in the whole world, my child. And I'm going to entrust that child to you. And you have a simple task. I'm going to send you a child, and I want you to send me back a responsible adult. Do you ever think about when that young girl or that young man shows up at your place for the first time? When they pick up that basketball for the first time? The first time they approach you as their coach, you have to see them in a much broader context. You have to see them in the context of here's a young person standing in front of me, and they're carrying a suitcase. But the suitcase is invisible. But in that suitcase is contained their dreams, their aspirations, their goals. And what they really are doing is bringing that suitcase to you, and they're saying to you, help me realize my dreams, help me realize my goals, help me realize my destiny in life. Help me become that person that God put me on earth to be. And so you have to coach, you have to mentor, you have to teach, to lead, to inspire the young people of America. And the quality of your work will manifest itself in tomorrow's cultural societies. Because if all of you in this room do a truly sterling job of coaching and really understanding what coaching is really about, and we'll talk about that, then you'll have a chance to change America. You'll have a chance to change the world for better because you'll produce responsible citizens whose voices and choices will ultimately dictate the America of tomorrow. And so we want to talk about a few things and how they relate to your role and USAB's role. I think in collaboration with USA Basketball and youth basketball coaches, it's vitally important that you relate to the growing of the game. As a coach, you have a much broader responsibility than what takes place between the lines and the boundaries of this game. You have a responsibility to the game, not just to the players, but you have a responsibility to the game, to grow the game. So to grow the game is a phrase. So what do we mean when we say grow the game? Grow the game means that you grow the game from a participation standpoint. You as coaches today are in a greater competition than the competition of winning games. The first thing that you have to win is participation. We compete for children's interests today more so than ever before. You compete with other sports for that child's interests. You compete with technology for that child. A young person who gets up today has 500 more choices of what he can do that day than when I grew up in the 40s in Washington, D.C. And so you want to grow the game, how the game is administered, how it's played, how it's viewed. These are all things that you can have an influence on. But you've got to see your profession in a broader context than winning and losing. You've got to understand the true essence of being a coach. And it's not going to be easy. It was just something. One day I took one of the roads less traveled. And that road took me down to coaching, but it wasn't because I dreamt about it. I think you have a responsibility to protect the integrity of the game. The game has integrity. And you have a powerful voice. And the powerful weapon is your voice. And you have to make your voice heard. You have to make your opinions heard. And it's not important if you're right or you're wrong. It's important that you express your opinions. If you and I agree on everything, one of us is unnecessary. So it's not important that you're right all the time. You have a responsibility to energize the game. You have one, and USA Basketball does, to energize this game, to make the game fun for people to participate in. And as soon as you say the coaches make the game fun, they get scared because they think it's going to turn into something that it isn't. But if you want to keep kids participating in this game, make it fun for them. And you better understand what fun is to them. You realize today in coaching, we spend 98% of our time coaching the physical and 2% teaching the mental. The two most important components that you work with as a coach are the physical and the mental. And I firmly believe if we spent more time on the why of things than the how of things, the how would become increasingly easier for us. And those people who can marry the mental and the physical together are the ones that are going to have extraordinary performances. And it's your responsibility to help them understand that there has to be a marriage between the physical and the mental. I never dreamed in my life that the first day that I picked up a basketball, that that ball would take me places in life that I never could have gotten on my own. I never dreamed that I would ever be able to go to college and get an education because I played basketball. Basketball has taken me all over the world. I've met 4 presidents. I've just have so many things that I have to be appreciative of because of basketball. So I think really what I want to do is cast the focus on you as a coach and as a leader. But I want to start by reminding USA Basketball that their organization has a fundamental mandate, a fundamental obligation as it relates to youth coaches. I think USA Basketball must secure the very best coaching candidates that reside within our borders. In my opinion, I think there's a fundamental process that's necessary for USA Basketball to achieve this mission. And I think it's a simple process. The process is this: you find them, you engage them, you inspire them, you value them, you invest in each one of these coaches, and you hold them accountable, you lead and teach them, you keep them, and you multiply that. That's a simple process and obligation that I believe that USAB has to the youth coaching community. But I'd really like to start an in-depth discussion about this person we call coach. One of the silent lessons you got to learn in coaching is to challenge all opinions, challenge all assumptions. Just because someone said the person is an expert doesn't mean he's an expert. Just because someone tells you he's a coach doesn't mean he or she is a coach. And we're going to talk about what I view, after 50-some years in coaching, as what are the ingredients of an authentic coach. And I want to talk to you a little bit about coaching and share with you a couple lessons I've learned along the way about coaching. And one thing I learned about coaching is that coaching is a destination. And you need to start to understand this. Coaching is a destination, and it never will end. I'm 78 and I'm still coaching. And let me tell you something. The most important person that you might ever get to coach is yourself. And so there'll be no end. Every single day of your life, you'll be coaching somewhere, somehow, some person, but you'll be coaching for the rest of your life. And as I said, here I stand at 78 years old, and I'm still coaching. And a lot of it's coaching myself. And then the second aspect that I would bring to you is that coaching is both a privilege and coaching is also a burden. It's a privilege and it's a burden. And you have to embrace both. Because both the privilege, I guess we would view as a positive, and the burden we would view as a negative. But in both the positive and the negatives are opportunities. One of the things they teach us at Nike, and every problem, there's 6 opportunities. And your challenge is to figure out what the 6 opportunities are. So if we were whiteboarding, I'd draw on their problem, and I would articulate what the problem was. And then I would draw 6 circles out, and I'd have to fill those 6 circles in as to what the opportunities are. See, when you go to bed at night, one of the things you should pray for is problems. You should say, "Dear Lord, when I wake up in the morning, can you send me a small bag full of problems?" Because what you're really saying is, send me a whole bunch of opportunities and challenge me to figure out where those opportunities are as a coach. If it was easy, everybody would be winning. And so it took me through 52 years of coaching before I discovered what coaching was really about. Coaching isn't about winning and losing. It's not about tricky plays. It's not about national ranking. It's not about public recognition. It's not about money. It's not about glory. Those are all the landmines. Those are all the distractions, the clutters that keep you from understanding what coaching's really about. At the end of the day, in my mind, coaching is all about being a positive difference maker in the lives of the athletes that you coach. I want to say that again to you. Coaching is all about being a positive difference maker in the lives of the athletes that you coach. Could there be any more better testimonial for you or I than for those young people that we coach to say, "I'll tell you one thing about my career. I was the recipient of great coaches." It's better than all the wins for a young person to say that you were a positive difference maker in their lives. And when you really stop and think about winning, your real job, when they draw the curtain on your career, is did you teach them how to be winners in the biggest game of all, the game of life? If all you taught them was how to play better defense and make jump shots and block shots and that, they could have gone anywhere and done that. Each young person is entitled to a special experience with you. When they come to you, it should be a unique experience. It shouldn't be a duplication of what they can get from 20 other coaches in the city. If you come play for me, it's going to be about more than winning jump shooting and rebounding. I'm going to try to help you be a winner in the biggest game of all, the game of life. And to me, I think it's all about teaching the athlete how to win and how to lose. Because you're not going to win all the time in life, and you're not going to lose all the time in life. And so I'd like to ask you to please examine with me those characteristics which I believe embody an excellent coach. And over the many years of coaching, these are some of the major qualities that I believe that distinguish a great coach from average coaches. The great coaches are master communicators. So often when we say communicate, there's such a strong emphasis put on talking and a small emphasis put on listening. The coaches today who will succeed with the modern athlete are going to be the coaches who are also master listeners. Too many coaches today talk to athletes instead of talking with athletes. Communications is a two-way process, talk and listen. And most coaches the talk and listen ratio is poor. Coaches talk 90% of the time and listen 10%. And then they wonder why they have problems with the players. The great coaches today are highly knowledgeable. They have an incredible passion for the game. They possess high integrity and values. They're trustworthy and they're respectful. You have no chance of ever being a great coach if you don't acquire the trust and respect of the athletes that you coach. It's not enough for you to say, boy, you better respect me. Girl, you better respect me. Respect is a two-way street. If you want the athlete to respect you, you need to respect the athlete. If you want the athlete to trust you, you need to trust the athlete. And the last I find with all the great coaches, they have a unique positive attitude and an unusual thirst and enthusiasm for the game. Great coaches lead by example. They're role models. Charles Barkley can say whatever he wants, but sometimes in life you're that by default. You don't have a choice as a coach. You are a role model. You have to possess superior teaching skills. And never forget this. You coach the person too, not just the athlete. When you take that child on, you coach him as a person too, not just as an athlete. And you have to provide discipline and accountability in their lives. All the great coaches I know are expert skill developers mentally, skill developers physically. And you know the other thing I notice about all the great coaches, they bring their best self to work every day. Every day they bring their best self. And as a modern day coach, you're going to undertake a variety of roles every given day. You will be required to perform a variety of roles and execute each at a superior level. And these roles are, think about this, they call you coach, but you're a facilitator. They call you coach, but you're a fountain of knowledge. They call you coach, but you're a problem solver. They call you coach, but you're a motivator. And on any other day, you're a mentor. You're a supporter. Let's talk about being a supporter. Do you have the players' back during the bad times? You say, I got your back. Do you have the back when times are tough? I don't need your back during the good times. I need you to have my back during the bad times. The modern coach today, the great coach today, has to be a truth teller. God knows if there's anything these kids need today, right from the NBA on down. They need somebody that's going to tell them the truth, that's not afraid to tell them the truth. The one thing I think we're grossly lacking in American society today is courageous leadership. People who are willing to stand up and tell young people what they need to hear instead of what they want to hear. And that's your job. You have to be the other voice. It all comes down to voices and choices. You tell me the voices that the athlete listens to, and I'll tell you the choices that he's making. And you have a responsibility to be one of those alternative voices for the athlete. And your alternative voice has got to tell them the truth. So I want to tell you some coaching realities. The team is about the players. It ain't about you. Y'all think it's about you. You want me to tell you how you can find out it ain't about you? Send the players home, and you keep coaching. It ain't about you now, it's about them. I ain't seen many coaches win without players. And you need to understand something else. There's always going to be cynics and critics in coaching. They're going to be standing on the sideline second guessing you. But when we were growing up as kids, my grandma used to say, if the mailman stops for every barking dog, he'll never get the mail delivered. And if you stop for every barking dog in your coaching career, you're not going to be much of a coach. You stop worrying about all the critics. When's the last time you went to the center of town, there was a statue for a critic? As a coach, you have to create your own destiny. And the two most difficult lessons that you're going to learn as a coach is how to lose and how to fail. You're going to have to learn how to lose and how to fail. And the modern coach today, I believe this with my whole heart and soul, has two fundamental responsibilities. One is the coach's team. Two is the leader's program. And more coaches get removed today because they can't lead their program than because they can't coach their team. Coaching the team is the easy part. All of you here one day, I would suspect, would love to be coaching in college, would love to be coaching in the NBA. But the coaching is the easiest part. Leading the program is the hard part. And so you have to prepare yourself to do it. Getting a coaching job is the easiest part. Keeping it is the hard part. The second 24 hours you're on the job, you get a head job. The second 24 hours, your thought process should be, how do I keep this job for a sustainable period of time? How do I keep it? I got it now, but how do I keep it? And so at the end of your coaching career, and you take your last breath, it's all about being a positive difference maker in the lives of the young people that you coached. And as I move toward the conclusion, I want to give you an in-depth look at this individual they call the coach. The coach in many ways is accountable to organizations, to players, to the media, to the fans. And each of these groups usually have some say in whether or not the coach keeps his job. The coach seldom keeps his job for long. It's a difficult job, and there's no clear way to succeed. One cannot copy another who is a winner, for there seems to be some subtle, secret chemistry of personality that enables a person to lead successfully. And no one really knows what it is or what it is. Those who have succeeded and those who have failed represent all kinds, young and old, inexperienced and experienced, hard and soft, gentle and tough, good-natured, foul-tempered and articulate, inarticulate. They're dedicated, and some are casual. But most are dedicated, some more than others. But dedication alone is not enough. For some are smarter than others, but intelligence is not enough. All want to win, but some want to win more than others. Just wanting to win is not enough. Even winning is often not enough. Losers almost always get fired, but winners get fired too. The coach has no place to hide. He cannot just let the job go for a while or do a bad job and assume that no one will notice. Seldom can a coach satisfy himself. If he wins once, he must win again. In the end, almost certainly, he'll get fired or she'll get fired. Theirs may be the worst profession. It's unreasonably demanding, insecure, and full of unrelenting pressures. I ask you, why do coaches do it? Having seen them hired and hailed as geniuses at gaudy press conferences, and having seen them fired with pat phrases such as incompetent and fool, having seen them exalted in victory and depressed in defeat, I sympathize with them. Having seen some broken by the job and others die from it, I've been moved to conclude that coaching is truly one of the most challenging professions in the world. So I want to leave you an action plan that you should put in your coaching kit, your toolkit. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered, but love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives, but do good anyway. If you're successful, you will have false friends and true enemies, but succeed anyway. The good you did today will be forgotten tomorrow, but you got to do good anyway. Honesty and frankness will make you vulnerable, but be honest and frank anyway. The biggest men and the biggest women with the smallest minds and the smallest ideas can be shot down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. But think big anyway. You got to think big. People favor underdogs, but they follow top dogs. But we should follow a few underdogs too. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight, but build anyway. And help people anyway. People really need help, but may attack you if you help them. But if you're a coach, you got to help them anyway. Give the world the best you have, and you might get kicked in the teeth, but give the world the best that you have. I want to thank you. I know I went over time. Thank you.